Hello and welcome back. Hope you are good, doing well. So we are having update on a pound dollar. So if I'm gonna open calendar and gonna look at the next week data. So we are having a decision on Australian dollar, and they are looking to raise the interest rate with 25 basis point. Easy call for them. And if I'm gonna look at the Bank of England, all right. So they're coming on Thursday. So Bank of England is also looking to raise the interest rate from 5 to 25 basis point. All right. So the simple, simple answer of that question is Bank of England going to raise higher than 5.25 basis point? Yes, very likely they're gonna go above that. So before we need to understand that, is it possible for them to go higher than 5.25 point, or is it possible for them to just stay here? So very likely they're gonna at least going to go to 5.20 5.50, or in worst case scenario 6%. So 6% interest rate hike is in sight in the UK. So we need to understand that, is it possible or not. So first of all, again, as usual, we need to look at the inflation. So inflation is there in the UK, and if I'm gonna put on top of that the UK core inflation. That's their core inflation, right? So I'm gonna put interest rate. That's the interest rate. Okay, the answer of that is very much simple. So core inflation is stuck at 6.90, close to 7%. So core inflation is 7%. It's not falling, it's stuck. And if you're going to look at the headline inflation is at 7.90. So slightly dropped last week, in the previous month. Yeah, but still high. So the interest rate is at 5%. They're gonna raise the interest rate next week, 5.25%. All right, and highly likely they're gonna be hawkish and may say that they are still going to raise the interest rate in coming meetings. All right, and very likely that the interest rate can hit the 6%. So if Bank of England is going to be hawkish and going to say that they are serious to bring down that core inflation, which is standing or sticky at 7%, all right, then we're going to see more strength on the pound, and that's what we are expecting, right? That's what we are expecting. We are expecting Bank of England to be hawkish next week, and the pound to keep pushing more higher. So let's look at the previous video analysis, and then we're going to talk about what to look for next week. Let's look at this. Hello and welcome back. Hope you're good, doing well. So we are having pound dollar set up over there. We were expecting pound to just keep the trend intact and continue to keep pushing more higher. But after the decision from ECB, we got a breakdown and pound slightly went lower, and again testing those lows. So simply, we are having Bank of England rate decision next week, and pound is, pound should price in for that event for a higher interest rate in the UK and more hawkish Bank of England. So you are simply expecting it to hold that previous low, all right, and it is already bouncing off, all right, and bounce off and at least give you a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, and in best case scenario just run for another leg higher all the way back to that top like this. Okay, and further best case scenario, just break through and just simply go to 127. So the bullish setup is still intact on pound dollar. We are still having the bullish view. We were not expecting this to happen. breakout to happen. We have seen some changes from the ECB after interest rate hike, which caused that euro to go down, and ECB is not as hawkish as it was being expected, which caused that drop, all right, the pound to go down or euro to go down. So we're having Bank of England rate decision next week, so pricing in is very likely on the pound for next week. So you are simply looking for pound to hold these lows and go back up, and first of all looking for short-term trade, and all right, so it's already bouncing off, so you're watching it too closely and give you this short-term trade first. Yeah, so already bounced off, so may not continue. It can test those areas a couple of times before we're gonna have, you know, for more upside momentum. So looking for that short-term trade, or this to price to rise all the way back to this area, or in best case scenario another leg higher on a 4-hour time frame to daily time frame. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so let's say in case if you see that the breakout, okay, in case if it breaks down aggressively to the downside, so we're still gonna look for, you know, bullish wave. All right, we're still gonna look for a bullish wave. We'll see where we're gonna get the entry, right? But still gonna look for a bullish wave. In that case, price, you know, can extend up to further downside. The daily moving averages are so far away. I don't think so we're gonna have, you know, pound to visit those areas. So not making sense at the moment. All right. But in case if it breaks slightly lower, we're still gonna look for this to continue its bullish trend intact. All right, so gonna look for bigger correction, something like that, like these areas. But fundamentals are still supporting for the pound to just stay intact for more upside. And in best case scenario, it can run up to 143 in you know, of 145 or 150 areas in longer term. All right. Thank you.
During the
all right, so that was the previous video analysis. So if I'm gonna look at the lower time frame, yeah, so we have seen that the price bounced off nicely after hitting that or after breaking that low, and the reason for that breakout was Bank of Japan. We know that they changed the policy, which caused that volatility in the market, and after that policy change from Bank of Japan, markets, you know, assets are stabilizing. So it broke down and then again nicely pushed higher. So you're supposed to be into that trade within these areas. All right, and what you are looking now, we clearly can see that another correction is just simply appearing over there for another breakout. Okay, so as explained in the previous video analysis, you're looking for this trade to happen up to this area and break out and continue to keep pushing more higher all the way up to this previous top, or in longer term go more higher. So yeah, we still I don't think so that price gonna fall for another time back to the bottom. But in case if it falls, yeah, you're still looking for you know, I mean, if this correction gets slightly bigger, you're still looking for the same trade, yeah, from these lows. When price form lower low, you're looking for the same trade for upside. Okay, so reason I have just explained to you, the inflation is very much high, and the Bank of England has to be hawkish to bring down that inflation. All right, so if I'm going to pull my moving averages, so we can see that the moving averages are slightly holding and momentum is shifting for upside clearly on this time frame. Okay, on the 4-hour time frame, that the momentum is shifting for upside, and highly likely we're going to see that you know, this move. All right, so at least up to that move, and in best case scenario all the way up to that and break out up to 127. So this is what you're looking. So we got some good price action, prices holding. So if I'm going to look at the lower time frame, all right, so we may see, you know, buying on pound right after next week when market going to open. All right, so it can start pricing in. So you're looking for that you know, correction to just hold. Let me pull out my moving average on this 30-minute time frame. Yeah, so not a clear trend on this 30-minute time frame, but price is just holding these areas, and you're looking for price to hold, do not fall. All right, and go back up. That's what you're looking. Thank you.